Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I have a great video for you. So if you ever wonder how do I use the AI tools for DeFi render, here this video is gonna show you one of the tools in depth about and we're gonna be talking about the AI PBR material render tool that it will help you to create texture maps. And there's so many other tools that I'll show you later, but this one here, it's focused mainly on going in depth in how to use that AI PBR material. So if you are a user of DeFi Renderer, this is the video for you. Again, on this channel, we're focusing on sharing with architects AI tools and real-time renders for visualization and how can you implement those in your workflow. Today is going to be mainly about DeFi Renderer, how to use the AI PBR tool. And I have created here a board that you can use as a resource. So I'll include this in the link, or I'll send it to you if you comment in the video. And you only have to comment AI PBR material, and I'll send you this link to the mirror board. Otherwise, you'll find it in the description below. And this one here will give you references for you can create your own texture maps. And the last thing before we start into the video, please make sure to subscribe, give me a like, and let me know what other videos will you like to see. So now we go ahead and start with the video. For the next step, we are going to select two interior design images so I can show you how to implement this tool for interior elements, and then we'll eventually go to exterior elements and other components. But let's start with interior. So let's say you want specific materials, and let's just start with the one that we already have set up here. So for this one here, you will normally go here and select, for instance, you want that material. I will click on displacement, and then you will click generate, and it will go ahead and generate a tile that is a PBR material that you can use it as is seamless. The great thing about this is it will also give you suggestions or recommendations of materials that are already created in the library that you can use. And the great thing about that is you can choose whether or not you want to use the one that was created by the AI, or you can actually choose one of the recommended materials. So here it is. So here is the one that was created by the AI. Now, here is where you will have two options. You can upload it to your local library. So what is that? So whenever you go to assets here, you will normally have something that is called local. And the great thing about the local library is that it's a library that it normally saves through projects. So for instance, this one here was a material that I created in a few projects ago. So the great thing about it is if you think this is a tile that you love, and this is a tile that you regularly are going to be using in your projects, I really recommend you to bring it into your library. So I can just do add local, and you will bring it here, and that's where you will have created a new material. Another way that you can do it on the right side, here on the right side, is where you can go and apply, and then is where you will choose a specific area. So for the sake of it, let's say I'm gonna go, let's go inside here, and let's say I wanna apply that to this table, and then apply it there, and then cancel, and you see how it added the material. Now the great thing about this is, as I mentioned before, it will give me recommendations of other pro materials that are very similar to that one, and you can go and click on each one and see if there are materials that are close enough that you like. For whatever reason you didn't like this or anything like that, you can always change it. Another thing that you can do once you choose, so this is one example. I'm going to show you the next example, and then we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to modify, but edit the material now that you have also a displacement tool. So for instance, you come here and you click here, you see how you will have already these maps here that you can, and it just works like any other material, where you can change the specular, you can change the roughness, the occlusion, the normal map. So that's the great thing about using this, that it already comes as a PBR that you can change. You see how maybe this is a little bit too much here in normal, so maybe you want to bring it a little bit like that to make it a little more subtle. So again, if you think, okay, this is great, but I would like to make it smaller or bigger, you can always change that. You can always offset it a little bit. You can always rotate it if you need to. So it allows you to edit the material just like any other material here. So now we're gonna go to the second example. So we're gonna go to assets again. Or you're gonna click online but you don't need to. Go to AI material snap. So if you wanna add a new material based on another perspective that you find on a different source, you can take this to the trash. This one here, I'll bring an image here that I found on Pinterest. Oh, it didn't allow me to upload, so I'll go here and upload this image. And this is great whenever you have like something very special that the client really wants, and it's like, hey, I want that material, and you're able to find the references. And then is when I'll say, okay, great. So I was able to find this material, and I really like this material here, specifically how it's looking there. So I go here, I'm gonna specify the content, and I'm gonna make sure that it has the displacement on. And here you can kind of get an idea of what it's actually doing whenever you click on displacement, which says about this pattern, materials are generated using custom template by default. Enabling displacement will additionally create a height map, which is great if you're giving that little extra contrast. But here you see how it's actually reading this material really well. So I'm gonna click on this, and then I'm gonna generate with the displacement on. Okay, so the material has been generated. I don't know what to feel about the material compared to this one. To be honest, let's say preview. Okay, it's not bad. What I will need to do on this one specifically, as you can see on the picture, is that I might need to edit it a little bit, right? So let's see it. So if I go here, right, and I like these walls. So let's say I want to apply material, and I'm going to apply it here. Oh, shoot, there's two materials there. Maybe I don't want to add it there. I just want a more flatter surface that we can work on. Okay, this is perfect. So if we want, oh, that's outside. Yeah, this might actually work. Let's try it right here. So if we do this, actually it looks pretty good compared to the material. I think a lot of it is just the shade of it. So, and I'm sorry if I'm moving a little bit weird here. It's just that with this demo, I'm normally used to kind of have it in a different set of movement, and this one here, it's moving differently. But if you can tell, like, this is actually pretty good. I mean, once you put it in light, you realize, okay, yeah, it is kind of looking like the picture once it kind of hits the lighting. But let's say, it has maybe a little too much of that. So you will normally come here to material picker, click on it. And here's where you are able to really change it. So something that I was looking before, I was like, well, maybe it needs a little hint of yellow. Oh, sorry, not there. Let's see, we can get it, that little hint of yellow. Just, you see that little thing where it just adds a little warmthness to it. I think that's good. Maybe we want to take normal just a little bit, and then we might want to take this, make it a little bigger so you don't see, yeah, something like that, right? And if we go here, you see how it creates this nice material there. And then here's where you have the height. So there you see that's the displacement that you're creating. I wouldn't go crazy with it. I will say you always want to keep it little, but just enough so it gives you that nice contrast on it. So that is the second module on the interior. So now we're going to go to the third module where we're going to do exterior images. Okay, so for this third module, we're going to do exactly the same of what we did with interiors, but I'm going to show you a little bit of example of exterior. So before, I kind of talked to you guys a little bit of like, it would be cool if I had like a Corten steel, right? And I couldn't find that in the asset library here. So what we're gonna do is go back again to the AI material snap. I'm gonna put this in the trash. Now I was looking at Pinterest here, and put our exterior architecture Corten steel, and there's a few that I really like. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a little bit tricky to, for instance, you want to make sure that you get something that is going to make the AI also life easier. Like for instance, if I maybe click on this one here, the AI might get confused of whether or not you actually want it perforated or you just want the curtain steel. And the good thing is like you can still do the selection tool to get that little corner, or maybe you want the perforated one. But what I want to let you know, I want to make sure that you understand is like you want to also give the AI a good quality reference, because that's where it's going to create the material from. Now, ideally, you want to give the AI a reference that it's a high quality reference, because if it's a very pixelated image, chances are like you're also getting those same results, not as far as it's going to get pixelated, but it's going to be harder for the AI to understand sometimes the material. So that's why I'll suggest that you're always looking for like high quality images, or at least easy references that the AI is clear, right? Of what exactly is that you're referencing, and not have like a mixture of various things in the material. For instance, if I give it this, but I just want that texture, but I give the AI that, the AI might get confused of either or not you want those blue hints there. So it might be something that you want, and that's fine. But I'm saying the clearer you are, the better result you're gonna get from the get-go. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose this image here, as long as I can download it. Yes, so it feels like I was able to download. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead, go here and download that image. So now you see that and they have very nice wood here too. So for this one here specifically, instead of picking the single, which it should be easy to pick, I'm gonna use the other one so you guys can kind of see how is that I'm gonna do it, right? So for instance, here I can click on that, on this, but I'm gonna go ahead and select this one. And yeah, I mean, actually these are a very easy one. So you can select it this way. And I'm gonna say, now, here's another thing that might be tricky. You know what, actually, I'm gonna select, what if I select this? What would happen if I select that, right? I wonder if I do this, will it unselect it? Huh, he's selecting that one. Huh, so I wonder what it will do. So I'm just gonna head and click generate, and let's see what it gives me, right? Because now I was able to get it with joints. Let's say I want joints. I don't necessarily just want the curtain material. I want it to come with the joints too, which makes it more tricky, but that's something you can get out of the building or a reference. I think if I would have kind of picked these panels like that, I would have maybe gotten it from, I wonder, no, actually this is not a bad thing, because you get this and it automatically creates this for you. Now it gives you other options here, but let's say you actually want it with the joints, right? You actually want the joints there. Now you might have to adjust things a little bit here. So let's say this is what I want. You can always go back to it and select other things, because here it might just be screwing things a little bit since you selected that part. We'll see. So I'm gonna generate this, and let's see what it gives me. The great thing about these is that it saves you a lot of time by creating seamless materials. For most of the, I mean, sometimes it is difficult to generate a seamless material depending on the scale of the building or the site, because still there's gonna be some repetition. But as long as the scales remain somewhat reasonable, these materials should work for almost any scene. All right, so now that it has generated this image, so let's see. So I'm gonna see if I can, let's put it here, so because it's gonna be a lot more noticeable. So I'm gonna go, oh man, okay, so I'm gonna go there and place it there. No, I don't want scatter area, I just want a material. Okay, so perfect. So let's get a little bit more. I think I might need to, and again, this is one of the things that, as I mentioned earlier, we're just gonna have to adjust a little bit because we're giving the AI a lot of direction. The great thing is that it is giving us the texture that we want, right? The only thing that we might need to adjust a little bit, it's probably the metallic, right? We want to make sure it's a little more metallic. We want to make sure we probably change the scale a little bit, right? depending on your building, you might want to change the scale so it aligns with that door here. And then you might want to do the offset, just so you have a line, like a joint line right there too at the corner. You see that? So now you have a line that is there, great. And then you can, let's see, we can go to the other material map, and then you have, actually here, the base color, you'll have the height. Let's, add a little bit of height to that. We add a little bit of the metallic. I don't know, roughness, we're probably gonna get it there. You see how good it looks now? So it's just a matter of adjusting it a little bit. But it's gonna give you kind of what you want, right? Like, wow, that looks crazy. And then the good thing is, like, with that, so let's say you kind of, oh man, I kind of want to wish the same size. Then, then what you can do is you can potentially just grab 2 of the squares, and in that way you only have these 2. So then it's a matter of you testing it a little bit. But for instance, if I come here and I just stretch it in, oh, it only has X and Y. So let's say if I stretch it in Y, you see how it gives you this. Now it's not perfect, but that's something you could be doing. Otherwise, yeah, I'll say like you can redo it again. But I think for the most part, it's looking great. All right, so that was the end of this third module. And now we're gonna go with the last module. We're gonna be doing an example on how to create some snapshots based on sometimes materials that you find online that is you only have like a sample. So let's go ahead and jump to the last one here. So with this last module, I think we all have deal with clients or projects where we get like a sample, right? Or we look at something online. So an example of that would be, for instance, right now I'm looking at Lowe's here. And, that's something normally you will kind of be looking with someone and like, oh, like I do like this material, and hopefully you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever website is that they are referencing this from, and you will have a sample like this. Now, the great thing about the sample is it gives you a really good start on how to generate the material. The bad thing is that they are not necessarily seamless materials. So you will have to normally take this, go to Photoshop, create a seamless material, upscale it, hopefully it's in a good quality, and then from there, be able to create that seamless material. So here's where we're gonna be doing that one there as an example. So I'm gonna download that one, right? And then we're gonna place it right here. So something we can do, again, we go to assets here, we go to AI material map. We're gonna go and take these out. We're gonna upload. Oh, it doesn't allow me to upload that way. All right, so we have this image. We're gonna do the displacement. We're gonna do generate. It might take a minute. All right, so here is what we got. Now, normally I would say you would have to do a better job of that. So my guess is that we are gonna have to regenerate this. So we're gonna do a preview here. What we're gonna be doing, and I think a lot of it is that you're gonna have to test because these are a little bit more tricky. So what I would do is I would probably try to kind of get it something maybe like, let's see, maybe if I do that selection, all right, and then it will generate. And this is the great thing about this, like some materials are pretty simple and they're gonna be easy to generate. Some other materials, you're gonna have to kind of play a little bit on what are you selecting for it to be easier for it to create a seamless material. That other material would have been fine as far as a seamless material, but it might have give you some differences as far as dimensions. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm really trying to select just enough of the material for it to give you a seamless, for it to be easier to give you a seamless material. Oh, it didn't do that. All right, so let's just go back again to preview. I guess we can just select everything here and then generate. And let's see what it gives us. It's good to kind of test around. I like to kind of test around. Once we kind of have like something that even if we don't think might work, you can still place it in and see if that works. Otherwise, you might have to go back to it. this is the first time, well, except for the coring steel, this is the first time I realized like it might have some trouble whenever you give it a material that actually has joints and actually has that, because it somehow is creating a seamless material, but it has to keep the proportions. And I think that's when it struggles a little bit. All right, this one here doesn't seem awful, but let's so here we go. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna place it here and see what it gives us. Okay. Actually, it's pretty good. It's definitely better than expected. It's keeping the scale. It's making it seamless for most of it. And then you can reshape it here. You can make it a little bigger. Oh, wait. Okay, so something that it's doing here, I think it's a little bit horizontal, which at this point I'd be inclined to keep this. There you go. Yeah, and that's something, maybe that's something you can kind of look at the material and see exactly how do you want it. So you might have to do a little bit of adjustments in the offset. So that's something to keep an eye on. Like whenever you have a material that doesn't have the joints and things like that, that it needs to keep proportions, it's a lot easier. But it's doable to do it with this one, except that you might have to just do a little bit of modifications on the stretching or how you select it. For this one here, I will definitely go with the height a little bit up. And I would definitely get the metal, no, but not metallic. Maybe a little bit of the roughness, not that much. Yeah, maybe there. You see, that's looking pretty good. And then I might have to just adjust the offset here, just so I don't have the weird corner there. There. Well, I might have to kind of adjust that so you don't have the line there. But yeah, I mean, for me, it looks pretty good. I mean, now you might have to adjust it more, but you see how you cannot really tell that much if it's seamless. But whenever you start playing with very long areas, that's when you probably start getting a little bit more contact material, because then you're gonna see some patterns that start repeating a little bit, not that much. But I think that will be something that you will be having some issues with any material, that you really have to get a much bigger sample for it to resolve that. But that's it for me. I think there is everything. I think there might be one more thing that I wanted to show you guys here. Where was it? So you can, whenever you are here, you can actually go here and actually use the Ultra HD texture, which actually improves the quality of the material. In that way, you are making sure that all the material that you're placing there comes in a higher quality. And I will recommend to do this whenever you create your own material, because you don't know if it's creating the highest material possible. Also, if you're thinking, oh, you know, it didn't make it as seamless as I thought, maybe then is when you will come here and do the AI. Oh, sorry, that was not it. Normally, then you will do the AI enhancer. This one here is gonna create maps for me, so you can actually do that too. In this case, it already has the maps, but you can do like this one here. I'm sorry, where was it? It's not here, right here. So here you can do the make seamless. Now I do think it's already seamless, but if you think there's an area where it doesn't seem seamless, you can kind of crop it and then make it seamless. But for my case, I think it's more than enough just getting that. And sometimes that will help you a little bit to kind of get that extra nice crispness on the material. But that's all for now, guys. I think we have gone through each of the methods to use the AI PBR material, from interior to exterior to just having like a sample. And I wanted to just create this video to kind of go a little bit more in depth on how to use the material. It is AI tool, and in the next videos we'll be going in depth on each other AI element, or just any other visualization element that could be useful for specifically for architectural visualization. So if you like the video, subscribe and give me a thumbs up, please, and just let me know what else you would like to see. Thank you.